everybody. Okay. I apologize, it's a little bit of a late start, and it's going to be a short stream. But, oh, here, let's put on the ZBrush Live. Oh, you know what? We'll leave it as, we'll leave it as it was, because we're not going to be doing Food Demons today. Um, Today's going to be a short day, but that's okay. Um, so, welcome. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny Saturday morning. Uh, Hope you guys have had a good week. It's been a little bit. So, this week, I just decided I wanted to kind of switch things up a little bit. This guy is one that I started working on a little while back, and kind of dug back out of the kind of dug back out of the archives, and it's fun. Like I really enjoy this character. His name is Silas. He's an adventurer, and I recently dug him back out for the sake of being able to kind of fix some anatomy stuff. And so, one of the things that I want to do real quick is kind of emphasize some of this anatomy a little bit less by adding in some more, make it so that the shading isn't quite as heavy. Otherwise, it's making it really kind of hard to. Here, let's kind of move this down from 100% so that it's a little bit easier. But yeah, so this should hopefully make it a little bit easier to fix up and to make it so that it feels a little bit more accurate to what I'm trying to accomplish with this guy. Yeah, my original name for this guy was Lion Tooth, and I was like, that's kind of cool because he's got this face of a lion. Um, and then he just kind of evolved, and my sister gave him a name, Silas, and I was like, okay, I'll dig that. I'll bite. So we like to play with that. Hey, Chris, how you doing, dude? Good morning. Hey, sis. Good morning, y'all. Hey, Saverio, how you doing? Could you suggest me hair system for 3ds Max? I can't. I don't use 3ds Max at all. Um, just kind of so I mean if I use a system to generate 3D hair, I'll generally use um, XGen just because that's what I have available to me. Otherwise, inside of ZBrush, there is options to be able to use fiber mesh, and my buddy Pablo has some good tutorials on how to use that. So fiber mesh, he swears by fiber mesh. I'm not super great with it. I know how to use it, not quite as well as he knows how to use it because he's like all over the place with it. He's experimented with it in heavy ways and knows how to really make it do some cool stuff. Um, for today, what I want to do, let's go ahead. Let's get rid of actually his. Um, let's get rid of some old clothing stuff because we don't need. So originally I'd had like kind of this whole setup for this guy, with like, how did I have this set up? I've got a shirt in there already. That's kind of fun. I didn't realize I had all. Like I'd totally forgotten all the different pieces that I'd had in here. Um, Visor glass. I had this mask bit here that was like super. Here, let me go through. I'll turn off the hat and the, the visor glass. Let's make a layer for this. Let's say mask. And that way we can start to see some of these things that I've added in here. This this particular piece is meant to be like a whole big Boolean process. I didn't actually like model it. Oops. The order on these pieces is going to be important. Okay. So there's this mask. If I turn on Boolean, you can see how it's intended to be. Give me a second. He got a teeth surgery. Yes, he. Yeah. So originally, you're totally right. You're totally right. He had. Let me see it. Let's pull it up because, and we'll say pin to quick access. Why did it pin everything to quick access? I don't want everything pinned to quick access. Whatever, whatever. So originally, like this is the very first version of him. Okay, and you can see like this with the when mask on, mask off, wax on, wax off. So yeah, you know, you can see kind of like some of the evolution of what it is that he's gone through. Mask on, mask off. This is kind of a comparison of how he went through and changed from having these tusks to not having tusks, which I like a lot better. I feel like it has a better flow to him. Clap on, clap off. Yeah. um. So yeah, I mean he's come a long way. We've kind of played with him some in trying to figure out like a pose, but now I have this new idea of a new direction I want to take him, um, where he's much more of like an adventurer, like a desert adventurer. Um, so yeah, got a lot of things that I kind of want to put into him, and so I'm going to take the mask. Let's turn off the mask. Some of these other things, like I'm trying to decide whether or not to actually keep any of these other elements, and I'll probably just get rid of what I don't want. Let's just say get rid of the visor glass, because all these things will be available to me in an old version. So we'll just say delete, delete, delete. We'll say delete. In fact, we could say Control F, delete, because this will be a little bit easier to get rid of. So come over here, we hit delete all. Okay. We can come over here too with the mask, and we can say delete all as well. The mask is something that I feel much more interested in keeping, but we'll have to see kind of how we develop the mask at a later point. For right now, I'm more interested in kind of taking him and pushing his anatomy, getting his torso kind of built in, things like that. Maybe sculpting out a little bit more of his hair. Kind of like take this and kind of. And let's also kind of pull in what's it called? Oh, it's just low res. I was like, why is that so acu-curvy? It's just because it's got such a low res piece of geometry to it. All right. We'll say that that's about good for the hair for now. Just kind of blocking it in. I want it to feel like it's long enough, um, just to kind of create some statements, some graphic statements. You know, make it feel cool. Okay. Let's see, kind of bring this in some so that it's not so full. Okay, and all this hair, the facial hair, the hair, that'll get some design passes eventually. Um, let's go in here. A lot of what I want to be able to focus on is that anatomy. So let's. I'm just going to turn. Oh, here are the tusks. We still have tusks. We also still have these other eyes. These other eyes I don't need, so let's just say delete. Because we've got these other eyes that are, yeah, these are fine. We don't need the tusks. We'll just say delete. Because again, these will be in a different file. So let's say save as. We're going to version up. We'll say version 6. And now we're good to go. All right. Magic eyes and resting eyes. Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. Let's say texture import. We're going to make ourselves a spotlight with our concept. That way we can reference it. We can kind of check out what it is that we've got going on. We're going to be focusing mostly on the face, so let's kind of keep it fairly close in here. Turn off spotlight projection. We'll grab our paint here and Control Shift. Oh, sorry, not Control Shift. Control Alt. Click and drag to be able to delete that background. There we go. Now we can get started. Now we got some good reference. So you can see like a lot of what I've tried to do with my paint over is like I'm adding in like some definition for where the jaw goes, where this muzzle region goes, trying to get some more fullness underneath his jaw. Um, it should be a good time. Welcome, guys. Press soon. Welcome, welcome. This one isn't going to be Hesper. Yeah, that's definitely true, Leonard. Can't catch me, sheep. How you doing? That's a fun username. Okay, so right here, just going to try to work on building up some. Oh, I want to make sure my smoothing does not affect my. So my whole motivation behind wanting to do this character stems from wanting to have like a finished, more realistic looking sort of character to be able to put on my ArtStation or art Instagram, things like that. Um, not necessarily my portfolio because this isn't where I'd like to focus my energies. This isn't necessarily my main career goal personally. Um, I would much rather stay in the world of stylized, and he will be stylized to quite some extent. I mean, first off, he's got a lion face, but um, but I think that one of the things that to me um, is cool is being able to add little hints of stylization to something that's supposed to feel a little bit more realistic. Um, yeah, let's go through and kind of play with some of these. Some of these things here. Let's bring down our intensity on our brush. This might be eating into the mesh quite a bit, like too much. So a lot of this is going to be, I'm just trying to refine this anatomy, make it feel like it's got some real, sometimes it's a matter of taking it and turning it off. Come on, give me something simple here. There we go. It's like I want to be able to say what I'm doing. It feels like I'm losing a lot of volume over here to the side, so I kind of want to play with this a little bit, see what I can get. Oh, not that. There's going to be just a lot of move brush. It's a very simple sort of time, but I'm trying to figure out forms, and forms are much more easily controlled with something like a move brush, rather than trying to build up and cut back. In my opinion, anyway. I think some people prefer to do it other ways, and that's fine. I don't feel like there's necessarily a right way or wrong way on this. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what it is that you like using to be able to play with your forms. I'll see about printing one out for you, sis. Let me see. I do want here. I'm gonna adjust the neck here a little bit because I feel like I want this to maybe be a little bit more upright. Let's play with this neck here. Okay, I'm trying to decide. My model must be pretty big. We're getting like a lot of cranium here in the back. Like it feels really wide. So I'm going to try to kind of push that back a little bit. So there's a little bit less cranium. Maybe what I'll do too is I'll take some of this and we can say let's build it up here. Like another, like on my own head, one of the things that I have is kind of like this kind of this little plane change. You know, put a little bit of the artist into the art, you know. Let's go ahead and kind of pull this forward a little bit. He has a very weak chin, and that's okay. That's kind of what I want for this guy, because I want to feel his age. I want to feel that he's, you know, got this old strength to him, but that he's, you know, kind of a little bit just old. You know, like he's starting to show his age quite a bit, and yeah, just having fun. Just having fun. I mean, at some point, the idea is to go ahead and get some good topology on this guy. I'll probably start with a base. There's going to have to be a lot of modifications to the face in order for the topology to work for the face. Kind of like me. Dude, you're Asian. You never show age. I'm just kidding. You do have a little bit of your gray hairs and everything. Very distinguished look. Very distinguished. Yeah, it's like that's one of the crazy things for me about about some people. Like some people just they never seem to age. I feel my age. That gets hard. Like I'm a young guy, but I have knee problems and back problems, and so so that gets hard. Add a little bit of light here, see if we can see my face a little bit better. Just a little bit. That's too much. It's like I can see my face too much. Too much face. Yeah, I mean like nothing's worse than having issues. Okay. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how I want to build up some of these forms and how I want to cut back on some of these forms. You can see I'm starting to try to dig in and really kind of complete those cheekbones, really trying to figure out, okay, so I've got my anatomy model here next to me, being able to look at the écorché side and see how that affects the non-écorché side and how those muscles build in, and it's really a super cool effect. I had the awesome opportunity when I was at Marvel to work with Craig Elliott, and he was so helpful and such a great teacher, and I enjoyed working with him so much. One of the things that he showed me was, and it's a simple thing, it's something that I'd never really noticed before, but just the way that the structure of um, the structure of the muscles in the face. In fact, let me pull up the camera here so you can kind of see if I can get it to focus on the model. There we go. You can kind of see the way that the structure of these muscles kind of cross from the cheekbone down toward the lips. The way that we get these muscles going from like the eye sockets down the cheek, down toward the top of the bottom of the jaw. Um, it's creating like this little cavity in here, and that's a lot of times what we see happen with people that have like these sunken in cheeks. That's what's creating that. So it's a really interesting sort of effect, and yeah, it was just really cool to be able to, he was showing me what was happening there. Um, so a lot of what I'm trying to get is some of that. Can you tell me how to sculpt African type long hair? It's like a rope or something. How can I get those details? It depends on what kind of hair you're talking about, because there will be different types. I mean, because there are I forget the name of the different tribes, but because I mean, that there are things like a weave where it's like it's tied in, it's a long braid um, that's pre braided and tied into your hair. And it looks really cool. I really like weaves, but there are also things like cornrows and braids, and braids are really common to be able to get really cool effects. You get things that are like different types of dreads. That's just like a um, yeah, I mean just matted hair that's just matted into a long rope like structure. Um, we get really cool like there's a huge variety, and then if we look at like, oh, I love that. That's awesome. um why won't it let me select, say, native? It's like we get things like this where it's like um yeah, these himba, it's like the thing that they have is like this clay, that they use to be able to cover the strands of hair, or these clusters of hair, and that helps to kind of keep bugs out of it. It helps to keep it helps to keep them cleaner, so they don't have to worry about those sorts of issues. Okay, similar sort of things here, covered in clay, but this is a much more like a twisted hair. So you would get kind of almost like a rope-like look to it, but not quite, because you can see how it's like the twist of the hair, the strands of the hair are really close together, so you don't really get that separation of like big chunks of big clusters kind of wrapping around each other. It's more just like the hair's all twisted, and then it's covered with the clay to make sure that you don't get the bugs and the things like that. Um, and then you get things like this where it's just really super tight braids. So lots of different types of hairstyles, lots of different types of things going on here. Um, that's super cool. I like that. It won't let me click on anything. What is your deal today, Chrome? Come on, Google. All right. Well, yeah, I love that's pretty neat. It's really interesting to me how the use of certain elements like clay and those types of things will go through and help add these very almost more graphic shapes to the hair. It's super neat. But yeah, I would honestly, I would take something um I would probably keep this something like this really super simple, unless I'm wanting to make sure that it feels really naturalistic, in which case I would make an IMM brush. Um, it's like one of the things that I have that I use all the time is this. Do I have it? Yep, rope brush. So I have my rope brush that I made, which is rope. Um, what I would do is I would then go through, modify this so that it doesn't have so much of an indentation here, and then I would make it so that it doesn't have as much spacing. So let me show you just to be able to illustrate the point. We'll come into stroke, and then we'll come into let's go into curve, and then we'll go into curve steps. So you see, like right now, it's set to 1. If we set this up to let's set this up to 5. We'll go in. So you can see like, woo. So you can see this is like changing like how um, I meant to go the other direction. But you can see how it's like spacing things out. What I want to do is I want to take this instead. Let's go to, I meant to say like 0.5 or something like that, 0.3. I don't know, something along those lines, and you can see how that makes it a lot tighter. Oh, that's not working out quite as nicely as I'd like. As you can see, it's not. Let me see, bend there. That should be. Let's say 0.5. Maybe 0.5 will work all right. No, it's not working. But that's kind of the effect that you're supposed to be able to get. So what you could do, I mean, you could just come in here and you could just use something like your curve tubes brush, and you're getting like this nice curve kind of going off there. So you could just kind of go into here and just give it a nice small brush, and depending on the look that you're looking for, right? Boom, boom, boom. Just like all sorts of things, right? And you just keep going until you until you fill your character's head. Um, do a story time stream. I need to. Is there context for that? I need to go ahead and look. Let me see. I guess there's a lot that I missed. Steven exists. Too much face. But yeah, I mean, ideally, it would be a matter of making some sort of IMM brush, and you could just drag out, and you could get that effect of having the tight curls, because of like the twisted hair kind of coming together. Um, and granted, it's going to be different depending on what it is that you want to be able to accomplish. So like this type of hair is very different from this type of hair, which is very different from like these, and like that. This is really cool because it's got these super tight braids. Um, oh, this is, oh, come on. I'm having issues showing things, but like we're getting all these very, very different styles of hair, right? Um, all of it's super, super neat, very, very different. And a lot of these come in from different places of the continent. So it's, um, lots of different tribes from the different nations of Africa. Like you get different hairstyles and different needs because of the way that the sun affects the area, or because of the different levels of vegetation, um, or even just the way style evolved over time too. You know, um, yeah, like Afro hair is amazing. It's amazing, and it's so much fun to look at and to study. Like I've got I've got like probably like 4,000 pins of different Afro style hair in my Pinterest board. I love it. Let me see. I'll help contribute to that, Leonard. We need this, especially if he does the Hogwarts Legacy streams too. Yeah, I need to. So I need to go through and like restart the game as a Ravenclaw because I want to see that common room. Same wavelength, man. Aesthetic would be on point. It's a vibe. Yeah. Story time stream. Story time. Story time, Steven. I'm trying to figure out where this story time is. Okay, okay, okay. So things are like scrolling without me being able to see it. Um, the light should be from below. Oh, are you talking about like this? Like getting my light to come from below? Attack on Titan vibes. Firelight, that'd be awesome. I concur. Needs to ebb and flow like a flame too. Yeah, so the hair for those sorts of hairstyles, um, yeah, it's definitely maintained differently. Instead of being, washed in water, it's washed in different ways. It's cleansed in different ways. Let me see. Let me see. Gonna be so sad next week if there is one. Yeah, so speaking of schedule, because I don't have a ton of time left to be able to continue streaming for now. Um, I will not be um, I will not be available for the next couple of weeks. So next week I will not be on. Um, but um, but let me see. 2 weeks after I should be. It's like having two younger siblings bugging him. Currently just one. Last week, actually, Ben was on the stream. Um, so that was kind of fun. That was a different experience. Yeah, he came and he was hanging out and he was asking questions about Cinema 4D, and I was like, I don't know Cinema 4D, nerd. But thankfully, I mean, in the very least, like his questions were about things that were pertinent to 3D modeling, and I could at least give him ideas of different types of things to look for. Um, so that was nice. Yeah, we were texting back and forth last week. Quintessential little brother. Maybe you're in your own family, but you're more of a big brother to me. Even though I'm the taller one. I don't know. I don't know how to be a little sibling. I've always been the big brother. Let me see. I'm trying to get like a little bit of. I don't want this to be like a huge, heavy Adam's apple, but I definitely want to make sure that it has its space, right? That it feels like it's definitely there. It's starting to feel like it's coming together. It's pretty cool. I'm trying to decide if, and I think it is. I think that the back of the neck feels like it's a little bit too long, and maybe it's a matter of kind of finding a way to kind of even it out from the front and the back. Gives me a little bit more chin, gives me a little bit more. Oh, come here. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll take the chin, give the chin a little bit more of a dip here. That'll help me to fill in that space. Um, I do want this area here to fill in a little bit more. Just so that like we get a little bit more definition to the jaw, but we have a little bit more of like a uniform form going from the side of the cheek down to underneath the jawline here. I think that that helps to feel a little bit more natural. Okay, I can be the older brother. I mean, because you are the little brother in your family, right, Leonard? Is that, am I remembering right? So, in the very least, that gives you an opportunity to be an older brother. Oh, the brow. That's something that I wanted to work on. Let's grab the hair is all one thing, so it's like the eyebrows are going to need to either come off or become something else. Um, oh, in fact, let's turn on standard. I'm going to turn on AccuCurve. Let's play with this a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's use this a little bit. We'll use this a little bit. Kind of build in a little bit. Yeah, see, so now you get a little brother. So the difference is, I guess this is a little brother of your choosing, rather than a little brother that's just thrust into your lap one day after your parents come home from the hospital. Not that there's anything wrong with that kind of brother. Yeah, I think I'm taller than you. 6'2". think I'm actually pretty fortunate. I didn't like when I was a kid. My fantasies of having a brother were that like we would run around and we'd play sports together and everything like that. And there are 10 years between my brother and and um, so like there's I didn't get to run around and play sports with him very much. By the time he was old enough to start really playing sports, he was, I was getting ready to leave home, So that was, I don't know, it's just kind of funny, I guess, in that regard. All right, I'm going to turn on Sculptress Pro mode here for a bit, and we'll turn on backface masking because we can. And oh, I forget that that's the thing. I forget that that's a thing, especially because, like, whatever. I don't use Sculptress Pro a ton, so it's not really a huge deal for me. So let's turn that off. I want to make use of my backface masking, and then I'm going to turn off symmetry too. This is hair. We're going to be making some good use of asymmetry to make something a little bit more organic. Okay, something like this. We're getting, it's the technical term, the okay, let's go ahead and say we'll cut into it right here. Gotta try to vary up one side from the other, so that way we have a little bit more of a variety, a little bit more interest to it. It's kind of cut in a little bit right here so that we can have the hair feel like it's flowing past itself and creating kind of a cool flow or something. I don't know. We gotta play with it. Come on, you right here. There we go. Good job. Oh, grab the hair. Don't grab the back of the body. Or that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, a lot of like what I do in getting long flowy hair is there is a lot of just pushing and pulling to try to get the flow to feel right or the flow to feel good, you know? And then there's a lot of coming back in and sculpting over top of it, and it's a process, but it's so much fun. Um, I really super enjoy this sort of thing, if you can't tell. So I get like a little bit more of a flow here. Get something like this, maybe something like that. Cool. So I mean that's not anywhere near finished, and this is probably about as far as we'll take it for today, but should be good enough for now. Let's grab this stuff and we'll just kind of pull it back against the head for now. Yeah, let's take our sculptress mode here. We'll just kind of smooth so that we get more geometry through the curls. Because otherwise it's just a little bit too not dense, right? Yeah, they're about 5 years, a little over 5 years between you and I, Debs. Um, nope, it's 12 between Anna and I. Anna was born in 2000. So, yeah, and I was born in 88, so there are 12 years between, uh, 12 years between she and I. It's kind of smooth just a little bit over here to get some more resolution in case we decide to play with it some later. Oops. Let's go ahead and kind of play with some of this. We'll get, oops, get some of this. I'm just trying to get a little bit more of a graphic shape to these bits of the hair, because there's a lot to it, and it's like I feel like if it's too round, then it'll be, a little bit too. I mean, I don't want to say friendly because I don't want him to feel not friendly. Just kind of pull this up and in or something like that. Pull this up and in some. Yeah, let's turn off the Sculptress Pro mode here. Yeah, it's kind of improved some of the forms to the chin here. It's like I feel like the butt chin is like too serious. It's too dramatic. It's like I think it needs to be a much smaller dimple. And then maybe we'll kind of cut back on this a little bit too. Let's see. See, I'm trying to make sure that with my forms that I'm not getting messy with it. Like right in here, it's getting a little bit uncontrolled. So I'm trying to make sure that this feels natural, that this is getting a little bit more of that transition from underside to top side. That's feeling much better. I'm still trying to decide like how heavy I want to, because like I put a lot of shape into these bits here, and I'm trying to decide how much of that I actually want to have. uh, um, but I think that I can safely go through and add some of that in. Um, okay. Trying to figure out if that's a hole. I think that's a hole. Let's come over here just to be able to try to fix that. We'll say modify topology, close holes. I guess it's not a hole then. What is it? Here's something I'm going to do. Let's say display properties double. No, it's not an inverted face. What is it? It must just be like some insane pixel shearing. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn on. That worked. Like lots of ways to kind of fix things. Cool. So one of the things that I saw on my previous version was that, oh hey look, there's the there's the old face with the tusk area built in. That's a pretty heavy piece of geo. So let's say decimation master. Let's decimate this down so that it's like a lot lighter. It's a beauty mark. Yeah. No, it's not. So yeah, there's my original head, and that's kind of funny. You can see just the ways that this has changed in the way that like the way that I've taken the nose and kind of pulled it out some, and the way that I've taken that lip, pushed it in some. It's changed so much of the character. Okay, he feels much less strong here, whereas now he feels so much stronger, you know? Stronger and more capable. Really cool. It's nice to be able to look back and to see those sorts of bits of progress, you know? I super enjoy that sort of stuff. Here, you know what? Let's see. I'm going to kind of push this in. A lot of what I'm wanting to get at here, let's turn off the color so that we can see. I'm wanting to get more of like a smooth transition from pectoral muscle up to the clavicle shelf here, because I think that that'll be pretty nice, pretty cool. Then I want to try to get a little bit of emphasis here for the deltoid where it's going to start. Something kind of like that for now. Cool. Alright, that's starting to look pretty slick. Pretty slick. Okay, I want to see about getting some more more even skin tone on this guy down below though, because that's making it a little harder to see forms, harder to see structures. It's like if I want him to feel like he has some certain skin type or something like that at some point, I can do that, but for now, I want to be able to see my forms. Okay, just kind of push that back a little bit. And then with this, we can just kind of bring the rosiness down a little bit more. Bring it up some, bring it back some. Okay, he's starting to feel much more natural, much better. So I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Yeah, it will be a full body character at some point, and my hope is to make him so that he works well for real time. Um, be able to eventually take him into the Unreal Engine. Um, oh, I have my AccuCurve on still. I didn't mess anything up too bad. Um, so yeah, I mean it's been a while, and I haven't done anything super realistic for a long time. So that's kind of like a huge drive for me behind this particular project, is trying to do something that's much more naturalistic. Yeah, let's go ahead and add a little bit of resolution down in here so that we can ease out some of these things here. Kind of soften that out as it gets to the end. I mean, obviously there will be like other creases along his neck, but those will be things that we'll add in later, since since we're still really early in this process of getting forms right and everything. Um, I will probably I gotta jump because I gotta get ready to head out. But I think what we're going to do, possibly next week, is we'll spend a little bit more time trying to um, trying to play with this guy and getting his getting some forms and structures to feel good, to feel right. Um, Here, let's save that spotlight because we don't want to lose it. Let's see. I want to still keep calling him a lion tooth, even though his name is Silas. We have an actual name for him. So we have that. Here he is without his hair, so we can see kind of more or less what it is we have going on so far with his face. There's a lot that we need to work out and refine, but he's coming along. He's coming along. This jaw area is going to need some tweaking. But like I said, he is coming along. I'm going to need to study the structures of the back of the ear too, just to make sure that I'm getting this a little bit more accurate. Currently, it's a little bit too messy, a little bit um, not the way that I feel like I should be able to expect it. So yeah, I mean, granted, this is kind of an old project. Um, so, there are things that I've learned since I started it back like 4 years ago that I'm just like, let's do it better this time. Let's do something new. Let's see how we can refine it, see how we can push ourselves, and that's the idea. Get it to be good. All right. Okay, let's bring back that hair. We'll call that a decent little success for the day. That's successful. Okay. Just kind of play with the shape of that brow a little bit here. Kind of pull this out, pull this up. at some point. I'll go through and I'll make like real brows, and they'll be separate from the hair. But that's where we're at for now, and it's fun. Thank you, big brother. Let me see. I started way too many tomatoes. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I won't be here next week. The next time I'm on. Yeah, thanks guys for coming and hanging out. Um, how does this dude not have more views? This is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of fun, and I do a range of things, and it's I don't know, it's just a blast. I think that this guy will probably have a little bit more. Um, what material do I have applied here? Okay, I do have Skin Shade 5. All right. Yeah, I think maybe this guy will start to feel more fun to more people eventually. But yeah, it's one of those things that different jokes for different folks. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're gonna leave it. Okay, I'm gonna stop touching it. I'm gonna stop doing stuff. We'll work on Silas more some next time that we. Uh-oh. So, did it work? Okay, I think it saved. Just for the sake. Oh, it saved it in the wrong place. That is not right. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's make sure. I don't know why that's in that place. That's not where it's supposed to be. Save, replace it. Okay. I'm glad that I checked. I'm glad that I at least checked. Okay. We're good. We are good. So yeah, next time. Next time, next time, next time, next time. Let me see. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's super kind. Yeah, if anybody wants to be able to find me, you can find me at here, let me copy my link because this is the link of all links. You can find me there. You can find everything from my Instagram, my YouTube, my Twitch, for my personal stream stuff. You can find kind of everything. It's the granddaddy of all links. It's the super daddy of all links. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So, you do what you do. You do what you do. So, yeah, gosh. I think this is a good starting point. This is a good starting point. I think this is establishing a good feel for what we can do next. Um, we'll be able to we'll be able to move forward and get some good progress going on clothing next time. Um, like I said, it'll be a couple of weeks, but I think we'll be good. So yeah, this is just a starting point. Because as you can see, like if we look at our image here, loop, um, I've started going through and designing the rest of the costume. So we've got to go through. We got to design the rest of this character's body. Um, we got to design, yeah, like the hands. I'm looking forward to doing the hands because I want to figure out how to marry lion anatomy and human anatomy together to be able to make those feel like. Uh, I want them to feel like they're substantial, like they're very muscular hands. So I'll be looking at certain bodybuilders like Thor or I can't actually name any other ones off the top of my head, but Thor is the one that kind of comes to mind because he's huge. Um, I'm not talking about like Lord of Thunder. I'm talking about like the dude Thor. He's like massive. He's got like this teeny tiny little wife, and he's this huge dude. Big guy, like Iron Man Iron Man, strongman competition, whatever the term is. Um, But yeah, anyway, you guys can look him up. He's fun. Um, so yeah, I'll do some of that to try to figure out kind of how I want those hands to be structured. I'll be looking at lion paws and how that stuff goes together. Hiccup's dad. Hiccup's dad isn't Thor. Hiccup's dad is stoic. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we'll do. And gosh, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming and saying hi. Yeah, if you want to be able to join the Discord, there's a Discord. Oh, you know what? Something that's kind of cool that stood out to me just now, and I'm going to do it because I don't want to not do it. Um, if you want to be able to join the Discord, we have a nice small community there. Um, Lots of nice people. We share our work in progress um, type stuff up there, and we encourage each other. Lots of encouragements, a little bit of feedback if you feel like you want it. Um, it's kind of a nice little environment. So if you're interested in joining that, that link is also in that granddaddy link. so so feel free to go and join that. Go check that out. Um, this is coming down a little bit lower than I want. Anyway. Anyway. Anyway, I say anyway as if that's like a conclusion, like a concluding remark, and it's like it never is. Because we're good like that, right? We're good at not finishing. Okay, that's feeling a little bit better. That's a little bit better. We'll accept this. We will accept this as tribute. All right. I'm going to need to like fill this area in some more next time, but yeah, whatever. Whatever. I'm stopping. It's like it's just one of those things that like that change in the hair, I feel like it makes that character feel so much more dynamic now. So it'll be something to consider. I might eventually go back to more of like a rounded top like this, but I think that feels a little bit more dynamic. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll play with it eventually and see what goes. Anyway, so done, done for now. We'll play with it again next time. So thanks for coming and hanging out. The end of stream spiel. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out because it's always nice having good people to talk to. So yeah, you can never stop. Ain't that the truth? Um, so yeah, I will see you next time I see you. Thanks for coming and stopping by, and I'll see. And when will I next stream? Um, it should be the first weekend in April. The Is that like the 6th? Is that right? 7th, 6th or 7th, something like that. Um, so yeah, sometime around there. So yeah, I'll see you next time I see you. Thanks, guys. Cheers.